It is such an honor and a privilege for us to be with you on this Thursday morning. And Thursday morning means that Nico Kleynhans joins us in studio. Good morning, Nico. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, and good morning to the listeners.
So, Nico, when it comes to life and specifically helping us to plan financially, I know a lot of people, they complain and they say things like, oh, there's just too much month and too little money. And it's something that we need to talk about. And also, of course, for parents to teach their children.
Yeah.
Could you give us some insight into that, please?
I want to touch on three things. I want to touch on financial planning. I want to touch on what to do if an insurance company rejects your claim. And I want to touch on what to do if you feel your motor car insurance premiums have gone up too high. But let's start with the issue of financial planning. And what I thought I'll do is to tell you about Alupile. Alupile is 12 years old. He's a young man that I met about 6 years ago, and I decided I needed to start teaching him about financial planning. And the basic principles I followed with Alu is as follows. The first thing I thought Alu needs to learn is the understanding prices and how prices work. Because if he doesn't understand that, he's going to get nowhere. So what happens is on Fridays, when Alu comes, he gets pocket money. He gets pocket money in 2 lots. He gets 50 rand. That's for him to spend as he likes. And then he gets another 50, which he uses for transport to get to and from school. Now, I know he cheats, as a lot of young boys do, and at the second lot, he will probably walk half the days so he could pocket, but that's his choice to do that. He's also got to learn that if on Fridays he wants to go to school in civies, then he's got to save 10 rand of his money to hand in to the teacher. So already he's got to work out how his budget's going to work. The first thing Alu had to learn was that a slab of Cadbury's chocolates at Woolworths is not the same price as a slab of Cadbury's chocolates at Checkers, is not the same as Cadbury's chocolates at Pick n Pay, and is not the same as Cadbury's chocolates at the corner store. That took him a while to work that out, because he thought if it's Cadbury's, it's got to be the same price everywhere. The second lesson he had to learn was how to read prices, because he just assumed if he took it and handed in, he was going to pay the same price this day as he paid last week or the week before or the week before that. So that took him a while to get used to that concept. And once he understood the relationship between goods and prices, he then began to work out that he can choose whether he wants to keep ordering that particular sweet or if there was a better value for him. Now, that's an important lesson for a young man to learn, and it's also an important lesson that we've got to learn, because sometimes we go and we buy something and then we run to the end of the month. Now we've run out of money, and then we sit down and thought, well, I shouldn't have bought that item. And had I not bought that item, I would have had 200 or 300 rand more in my pocket today. So it's part of the learning process. How do we look at the value of what we're doing with our money, and how do we begin to divide what it is we're doing with our money? So that was the first thing. And the other lesson I enjoy watching is on Friday, if Alu brings a friend, the friend also gets pocket money.
Oh, okay.
And I watch how he now has to do in 30 minutes the lessons that he has learned, and to explain to them how you need to work out if your money is going to last. The second thing Alu has learned to do is to plan ahead. So I got a video call from him 2 nights ago. Hi, Uncle Nico, it's my birthday, as if I'm going to forget. And I said, yes, Alu, I know it's your birthday. What is it you want to know? And he said 2 things he wants to know. What is he going to get as a gift? And I said, well, you have to discuss that with your uncle, and you need to put a proposal of what kind of gift you'd like, and then we'll consider it, and then I will make a decision. But you will know ahead of time, but you need to tell me what it is you would like. And the second thing is he knows that where he lives, it's a very poor community. So a party means he can only invite 10 friends, and he's going to have to give gifts to his friends. So when they take home, they're going to have to take it to their moms, because often their households would not have had food for that day. So the party takes on a very different kind of thing. And he has to learn that lesson now, so that when he budgets, he's budgeting for the reality of life. Then we come to the bigger items. Alu has also been taught that if he wants an item that is not affordable for him, soccer balls, for instance, a kid at that age can destroy a professional soccer ball playing in Delft, and come on, DA, do something about those soccer roads.
Yeah, please.
Do something about those roads. They destroy a soccer ball in 3 months. So what will then happen is we'll go to a sports goods store, we'll identify the soccer ball he wants, we'll agree on the price, and he has to contribute half of that price. And as soon as he's saved up half, he will get the soccer ball regardless of price changes. Okay. So that he is learning to save, he's learning to manage his money, and he is more comfortable with money. So he is basically learning something that many adults tend to learn after a year or two of working. So it's basic stuff. And if you've got a child or a grandchild, you can begin to teach them while they're still at school. It's not rocket science that they have to learn. So this week, a dad approached me. He's a client of mine, and he and his 16-year-old daughter wants to now learn about investing. And she decided she wants to learn about Satrix. So they sat in on the interview, and all we did was to explain what Satrix was and how it worked. And I showed her some examples. I showed her an example of a Satrix investment that in 1 year grew by 63%.
Wow.
Another one that grew by 50%, and one that grew by 1%.
Oh, wow.
So I said, now,
those.
Your mom, to her, is an activist. You need to ask her why it is that the Chinese investment grew by more than the Indian investment, and why those grew so much more than the South African investment.
Yeah.
And once you've got some of those answers, then we will talk about your strategy, so that she's now beginning to understand the link between finance and economics, because that is what a lot of adults don't understand. They think if they throw money at an investment product, they're guaranteed for an excellent return. And of course, it doesn't work like that at all. And this is where people don't understand why you need to, when you do financial planning, it's got to be a CFP. It needs to be somebody who has the skill to help you through that education process. Now I want to come on the other thing of a short-term claim.
Yes.
You want to ask a question?
I want to ask a quick question then,
Yeah.
Nico. We talk about short-term insurance just purely because that's the insurance of vehicles, of household contents and things like that, right? Just to clarify,
that is
life insurance.
That is that. Okay. So the client contacted me. They had a burst tap somewhere in the bathroom. They put in a claim to the insurance company, and the insurance company said, this claim is not covered by us.
Oy.
And he said, now it's going to cost me 40,000 to repair. What do I do? And I said, you have two choices. You can stomach it and pay, or you can go to the ombud, tell the insurance company you're going to go to the ombud and you're going to dispute the claim. Last year, people disputed 27 million rand of rejected claims. Don't underestimate the power of the ombud, because although they are sanctioned by the state, ombuds are generally organized and they will review. And in that particular case, 197 million has been recovered, and he stands a very good chance. And the ombud services are free, and the insurance company, just because there's been a log of a complaint, has to pay 1,000 rand penalty, whether they were won the case or not, they've still got to pay. So that's it. Premium increases.
That's it. Yeah. Maybe what we need to do is we need to unpack the whole discussion around short-term insurance next week, if that's okay, Nico, because we're just running out of time for today, running a little short with regard to that, because this is a really important thing to understand just how it works and so forth.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll do that, ladies and gentlemen, because it's very important to look at your short-term insurance, to look at your premium increases, to look and understand your policy, but we need to give it good time. So Nico will definitely do that for us next week.
Sure.
Thank you, Nico. Thank you for your time. And once again, a quick reminder, if you want to connect with Nico, the one and only way we're asking you to connect is only via email, because his office cannot handle the number of phone calls that it receives. So we need to ask you, please, to only email questions@northwood.co.za. It's on the screen, and please do so. questions@northwood.co.za. Nico, thank you for your time, and God bless you.
Thank you.